guys, happy Saturday! And what a gloomy Saturday it is. I'm so excited that we finally got some rain last night. At first I thought the rain was just teasing us because it's not like we don't get a ton of rain here in San Diego, but I am happy when we do get some rain because the plants are just, they would rather it make it rain than have the hose, you know. Hey Keith. So yeah, so I'm pretty happy that we got to have like a little bit of rain yesterday. At first it would rain for like 30 seconds. Sherry Bug, what's up? So it would rain for like 30 seconds and then it would be like no rain for a few minutes and then 30 seconds and then no rain. I was like, come on, like it's not even enough to wet the soil. Hey Christina, how are you? So yeah, then we finally did get some rain, and so it's nice and wet out there this morning and still kind of gray out there. It's not really cold, it's still just a little muggy. But we had a brief power outage yesterday for like 3 minutes, so. So yeah, it was like, I was actually hanging out with Loki in his room, and I was wearing my Loki hat. Loki, where are you? He was here. And all of a sudden the lights went off in the room and I heard the whole house fan turn off and I was like, and I like looked outside and like, it's just black up and down the street and I was like, but I went into the other room. Of course, I always have my candles going, so I was like, we're good. I have like a bazillion candles. Like the candles will last me all throughout the apocalypse, like as many as I have, but you know. But it was only like a 3-minute blackout, so. Let's see. Oh my gosh, Atypical Tarot's here. What's up? He says it rained a lot up there too. Yeah, I'm like, more rain, please. Yes, please, because my yard loves it. Sherry Bug says it's been raining off and on most of the week. Fall is here in Ohio, and it's only in the 50s today. Today it's, hold on. It says it's 64 right now, but it's always off by 10 degrees here in East County, so it's actually like 74 degrees this morning, so. Tammy Marie, hello, how are you? So yeah, I have my tea today, and today's tea that I made was of cloves, milk thistle, and raspberry leaf, because I was like, just a little funky here, so maybe I won't do as long of a live chat today, just, you know, kind of rest the body. It's been kind of a hectic week. My seniors had they had to turn in like a resume yesterday, like a final draft resume, and all of them were like, I don't have resume paper, do you have any? And like at 7 in the morning so that they can go print the resumes, and it was worth like 60% of their grade, so of course like they waited till 5 minutes before class to try to get it done. And then they had like a rough draft activity to do, like a peer edit activity, because they have an essay due, a big essay due Tuesday of next week, and so at least most of them have a rough draft. So I was like, okay, good, because they knew that if they didn't have a rough draft for their peer edit activity, that I was gonna put that in their 60% category, and I was like, your grade will drop from a B to a D. So Tammy, thinking of going to the beach today. Oh, lucky. Well, technically I could go to the beach today too. It would just be really overcast. Debbie, I am at work. I watch when I get home. No problem. So I will see you then. You have a wonderful day at work. So yes, so because of the hectic week, especially like Friday, the seniors were like, "Arr!" So yeah, I am just feeling it a little bit right here. I mean, after I took my shower this morning, that's why my hair's on top of my head. Usually when my hair's on my head, it's because my hair's wet and I don't like it hanging down my back. So, so yeah, I just have my milk thistle, my cloves, and my raspberry leaf in here, in my, if you guys haven't seen before, my little sacred geometry glass, bottle. Okay, so, let's see. Solaria Willow, hello. Super stormy day in Texas. You know, it's funny. Yesterday, my dude and I for dinner went over to JV's, which is like a really popular. Hey, Paloma Gomez, how are you? It's like a popular little like burrito place, but it's like really good burritos and really good Mexican food. And it's like just down the way from UCSD, here in San Diego. And I was telling my dude, like, I was like, yeah, back when I was in, I said, when I went to Texas for my uncle's like first wedding, I said it was in Corpus Christi. And I always wanted to do what Pee Wee did in Pee Wee's Big Adventure. And so I literally went out onto the street and I was like, the stars at night are big and bright. And somebody across the street, like, literally clapped his hands. He was like, deep in the heart of Texas. I was like, yes! So yeah, I was insane even when I was like 17 years old. So that is good tea. Okay. That's hilarious and that's awesome. Okay, so I wanted to do like talk about some past life stuff with you guys because I don't know about you. I don't know if it's something like everybody's like feeling this or maybe this is just me. But the past like, I don't know, month and a half, maybe it's been 2 months, I've been really feeling like drawn to really dive into past life, whether I'm like diving into my own past life or maybe work on like practicing diving into the past lives of like my friends who are willing to do so. I like wouldn't do that behind their back. But and I have a few like a couple of decks and spreads that I work with past life. Christina says, I don't know if I believe in past lives. That's it's up to everybody, kind of what they believe. For me, my personal beliefs, I do believe in past lives. I kind of brought up with like a little bit of like it was like a mixture of like Catholic and Buddhist. It was kind of different. And then I have studied at least like one sect of Buddhism, and I don't know, it's just something that I truly believe in, and and in my own meditations. But like everybody has their own thing. Like there's some people that have done their meditations and their digging through like beliefs and things like that, and they could believe something totally different, and I think that's fine. It's just kind of good to share our stuff. And so for me, I do believe in past lives, and I've had some like crazy meditations with those. Sherry Bug said, I am reading Light of the New Black right now and was just thinking about past lives yesterday from reading it. Ooh, Light of the New Black. I will look into that. Or is that I see. I don't really know what I believe. Still finding my way. Hey, I think we're all still finding our way. Who knows? Maybe my whole like perception will change after some like huge life event that happens to me years from now. Who knows? We don't really know. Oh, sorry, it's not. Oh, Light is the New Black. Do I still have that book? Oh, hey. Hold on, because usually I'm always gifting my books to people, but I actually still have that one. Bam. Yeah, I loved this one. I let somebody borrow it, but I asked for it back. So so yes, Light is the New Back not back. Light is the New Black by Rebecca Campbell. Yeah, I love this book. What I do with it now is I just like to I do a little bit of bibliomancy for it, like usually just if I'm looking for a message for myself, like nothing in particular, just some general, hey, what's new? And so I just like to kind of flip to a page. Actually, let me do that now while I have my book out. Little message for me today. This is my message today. They were the same kind of weird. I can totally see using it for bibliomancy, yes. So my message today, they were the same kind of weird. Are we all the same kind of weird? You, my lovely tribe, yes. Weird is the awesome. Oh my gosh, that was pretty cool. Well, thank you for making me get out my book. I love that message today. Okay, well, maybe I will dive into a little story here. Hey, Max, how are you? um, Christina says, that's us. Sherry Bug, that is totally us. um, well, you guys know I like story time, so I'll just give you one story. It won't be like last Saturday where I think I gave you guys like story after story. I was like on a roll with stories. But you know, I like sharing my stories. So I have a story of just, it was a dream I had, a reoccurring dream that stopped after I think like a year. Sherry Bug says, love story time. And to me, I believe that that dream was a past life, but you know, it's not something I can, you know, say for certain and that it's proof of past lives. This is just like, it's just what I believe. You know, I just believe that that was a past life, what I was dreaming. And it was back when I was 16 years old. And so it was like for the entire time that I was 16. Oh, hey, Loki. You want to say hello? You want to say hello? Come here, Lokester. You stay away from the altar. You're not allowed to steal my wands. Come here, big panther. Oh, 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 you are so big. Oh, ooh, panther tummy. Oh, you want to say hello real quick? Yeah, hello. I'm going to have a black fuzzy face now, huh? Oh, I'm going to have black fur all in my mouth. Loki. Max said, hi Keith, I'm good, and kittens, hope you and the fam are okay. We're okay. And you know, got the Lokester over there who's eyeing stuff on my altar that he cannot have. That is a sacred place. Wally knows not to go there. Sherry Bug, big handsome panther. Yes, you are. Okay, so story time. Okay, so this was a dream, and I have written the dream down. It's written down in like an old diary below the house. I keep all my old diaries and journals like in a plastic bin under the house. So every time I'm done with a journal, I just kind of toss it under there. So I know exactly what journal it's in. You know, so I'm glad that it was written down. It just kept happening so much because it happened for literally like a year that I was like, I need to write this down. And I was so emotional afterwards. And I kept thinking, is this what it's like to be 16? You wake up emotional like every morning? Maybe you do. But anyway, maybe it was mostly the dream. But anyway, okay. So gosh, how did it start off? Okay, so like how the dream would start off would always be a little bit different, but then it would go into like the rest of the dream. Okay, so like the one that I believe that I wrote down like how it started off, I was in my backyard of my old house, you know, growing up. And I was hanging out with Mulder and Scully from the X-Files. Because X-Files was like my favorite show, and you know, I still go back and I binge watch like X-Files. Like I love Mulder and Scully, and I think that was like the best show next to Star Trek: The Next Generation. Like those were my two favorite shows. I love Star Trek and I love the X-Files. And I always had a crush on Mulder, David Duchovny. And my dad actually, my dad had a crush on Scully, Gillian Anderson. My dad's like, now that's a woman. I was like, ew, you can't be crushing next to me while I'm watching my show. Like, you're tainting my show. Sherry Bug said, nice, one of my all-time favorite TV shows. Yes, I loved it. Okay, so the dream starts off with Mulder and Scully. And there was always some sort of like time machine at the beginning of the dream. Like a, you know, I guess what you would picture as like a time machine, like a big pod or something. You go in, it's got all these buttons, and you know, it's your like whatever typical time machine. If we had time machines. Atypical. It was such an amazing show. Funny about the crush. Yes. So I remember you know, because this was usually how it started, was Mulder and Scully, but sometimes it would start differently. Like sometimes it would start where I get in the DeLorean, which was pretty badass. You know, I'm getting in the freaking Back to the Future car. Um, which also had a crush on Michael J. Fox. But anyway, gosh, so many crushes. So I get in the time machine and it would be like, okay, we're going back, and all of a sudden it would be like this flash of bright white light, and now the dream starts. So that beginning would always be like a little bit different, but then when the dream, I feel like the dream starts, then it's like that was always the same. So it's the big flash, and then it's right into the dream, and it's me, and I know I'm a woman, and I'm carrying like all these like sticks, and I'm wearing it's a green uniform, but it's a skirt uniform, you know, like military skirt uniform. And I'm carrying all these sticks, and it's early morning, and the sun is like sort of coming up through the trees. We're in a wooded area, so there's a lot of trees around us. There's smoke coming from the like little campfires, but they've been put out, so there's now smoke just kind of rising up from like these little campfires. And you see all these like green tents, like camping tents, but they're military tents. And men walking around in their uniforms, and some of them have like the tin mugs, you know, like tin mugs for their coffee. And so some of them are like kind of like shaving outside with like a little tiny mirror, and some of them are drinking their coffee. And everybody's just kind of like moving around, getting ready, and every now and then you would hear a couple of like warplanes flying overhead. And I felt like I was so much shorter than everybody else. And I could only, like, I never got to see my reflection, so I could only see, like, if I look down, I know that I'm in my green uniform. I have my green jacket, like, uniform jacket, and I have a green skirt. I have these sticks in my hands, and I walk up to a man that I know is my husband, who's so much taller than me. And when I look up at him, the sun is shining through the trees, and it's whiting out his face. So it's like a bright light where his face should be, so I can never really see his face, but I know he's a tall man, and I know that it's my husband, and he's in full uniform. And he's like thanking me with the whole, you know, getting more sticks for some of the campfires later that night. And so we're just kind of like piling some sticks off to the side, and I tell him I have a really bad feeling, and I tell him I don't think you should go up in the plane today. And he's like, you know, he says, I have to. He says, when your commander gives you an order, he's like, sweetheart, he says, you gotta listen to your commander. He goes, you, you know, basically, you don't get to pick and choose what you wish to do. And I kept telling him, I said, I just have a really bad feeling. Like, please don't go up into the plane today. No, I said, I don't want you flying today. And he promised me everything would be okay. He like touched my face, and he like gave me a kiss. And again, it's like I can't ever see his face though. It's just so, it's like light, you know. And so I just, that's the end of that scene, you know, where I'm like begging him, really, like I said, like, really, like, I'm not joking. And he just was like, you know, brushing it off, like, oh, you're just being a worrywart, you know. And so the next part of the dream, it's like cut to, I'm in my home, or our home, and it's a little home. It's a little one-story house, and a military vehicle pulls up, and right away I know what's happened, and I'm just like in hysterics. I'm like already bawling. And one of the men, I know who he is. In the dream, I know who he is. I know that he's a superior officer, and he's coming up to the door, and I don't hear any words past like, I'm sorry. You know, he comes up to the door because we know each other, because I work there, kind of like I work with the military, but I don't really know in what capacity in this dream. And so his first words are just, I'm sorry, you know, and he's got a couple of other men with him. And I know he's talking more after that, but I can't hear anything because I'm screaming and I'm crying so loudly. And I just like lose it. And I just like, I feel like my whole world has been shattered. I feel like my heart has been like torn into, like, I don't, I'm in my brain, I'm like thinking like, hey, New Age Lunatic, how are you? I'm just going over like this crazy dream I had for like a year when I was 16. And so like in my brain, I'm like, what am I going to do if I don't have my husband, if I don't have the man that I love, and I can't imagine life without him, and I wanted to have children with him, and and it's like all, and it's just like all coming out. I'm just like crying. And then it would be it. That would be the end of the dream. And I would wake up out of my bed, literally just tears streaming out of my face, and I would cry for probably about another hour after I wake up, because I just feel like I love this person and this person's gone, and I would feel it so deeply for about an hour after the dream, and until like I would finally start to, you know, you know, get the tears to stop. And then I realized, I'm like, okay, I'm like, why are you crying? Like, it's just a dream. You don't really know this person. Like, why does it hurt so much? Like, why do I feel like I know this person? And why do I feel like I've lost something and I can't, like, and I would think it was so silly. I was like 16. I'm like, why are you crying? Gosh, this is so stupid. Like, it's just a dream, but I'd had this freaking dream like every night for like a year. Um, and I've had one of those dreams before, but that was, I told you guys that one before. That was like my senior year when it came to picking colleges. And I just, yeah, I kept feeling like he was real. So I tried to write down as many details as I could remember. Like I have it written down now because I don't really remember now. So I'm glad I wrote it down. But I wrote down what company I think that he was in, what branch of the military that I thought this was, and that I thought it was American. Although sometimes I kind of felt like it was German, which is, I don't know. So it was like flip-flopping back and forth. But I kept thinking American because I could understand everybody, and I'm pretty sure we were all speaking English. But I was like, I don't know. So I don't know. I was like making guesses on like what military I thought it was. But I knew that he was a pilot. I knew roughly like how old we were. And so like I had written this all down. And yeah, and it was just like this really like powerful dream. And then, I would have it once in a blue moon after that, but then it's gone away. I don't really have that dream anymore. But it was like kind of started right around like after I turned 16. And then, yeah, and then it was like powerful dream. And now it's like kind of gone now. But yeah, it to me, as I got older, I was like, God, that like, I feel like I had to have actually been wherever that was at some point in like a previous life. And I did feel like this was World War II, which I have a weird fascination with World War II. I love like studying up on like the history and like what, all the different, nations that were involved, like what was kind of going on in each of these countries at the time. And I don't know, I have this deep connection to the 40s, like the early 40s, kind of like towards the ending of World War II. So I don't know, maybe it was a past life, maybe it wasn't, like I said, I don't have any facts or proof. I just like feel like that's just what I feel like that had to be. So that's just my opinion. But let me show you a book. So like if you guys are interested in maybe like diving into some past life stuff, because I am, and I've mentioned before that I want to go maybe during winter break, maybe during spring break, maybe during the summer. I do want to make an appointment with Jeff Burr's wife. You guys all know our homie Jeff Burr, who's totally awesome. Well, his wife is apparently the bee's knees when it comes to, past life regression. So, maybe give it a shot and see how that goes. I'm very interested, just, keeping an open mind. But there is a book that I've had for a while, but I haven't like had a chance to really dive into it too much. I've really only really done one of the exercises in here, but it's called How to Uncover Your Past Lives, and it's by Ted Andrews. And you guys know I love Ted Andrews, and I love Ted Andrews' books, you know, and I have his animal runes, and yeah, he's awesome. And I love how this is written. It's just I haven't had a whole lot of time to read it, and since a lot of it is like exercise oriented, you need a little bit of time. So, and this was pretty cheap. I mean, it on the back it says it was $10, but I'm pretty sure I got it a lot cheaper off of Amazon. So Sherry Beck said, love this stuff. Want the runes. Yes. I love working with his runes. So last night's exercise in this book, you know, I'll kind of tell you guys about it. Let me go back here. Okay, so he had something called, it's called the Wheel of Life meditation. And it's not really to dive into any past life or anything. It's more to get you open to the idea that maybe time isn't linear. New Age Lunatic said, I want this book. Ted is awesome. Yes. But yeah, it's just have you be open to the possibility that perhaps there's more beyond this life, that perhaps, you know, you may have had other lives, that perhaps, you know, time goes forwards and backwards and it goes all sorts of different directions, and perhaps things could all be happening at the same time. And so for this meditation, he said to take the Wheel of Fortune card from a tarot deck, and to really look at that card and look at all the symbols. And he has like a, you know, he had a picture just in case he didn't have a tarot deck. So he put his like Wheel of Fortune card there. And then in the meditation, you're supposed to, you know, like close your eyes, get nice and relaxed, you know, get yourself all relaxed. And then, well, I guess I'll kind of walk you through it a little bit. But he says that basically you are standing before this giant door, wherever you want to imagine this giant door is. And it has the Wheel of Fortune carved onto the door, like all the symbols, and you're looking at all these unique symbols, and then you notice that this fabulous blue and purple light is emanating from all around the door, like all like coming out from under the door and out through the cracks of the sides of the door, and you reach for the door handle and you open it up, and you're just now immersed in this blue and purple clouds and light, and it feels like it's drawing you in. There's all these spirals everywhere. And he says that you look around and you notice that it almost seems surreal, the world that you're looking at, because it looks like our normal world with trees and streets and houses and lamps. But you notice there are clocks embedded in everything. You know that there's, if you look closely enough, there's clocks like in the trunks of the trees, and there's clocks in the walls, and there's clocks in the street, and there's clocks everywhere. And that some clocks are spinning really fastly, really fast clockwise, you know, going forwards, and some clocks are spinning what seems to be counterclockwise quickly. Some clocks appear not to move at all, and other clocks move a lot more slowly. And he says, and then imagine yourself that you are getting close to one of the clocks that's spinning quite quickly forwards, clockwise. And as you get closer, you notice that the wrinkles start forming on your hands. Your nails are growing. You feel your hair growing. You feel your body aging. And you quickly walk away and you realize that you're fine. You were the same person as you were when you walked into this surreal place. And you do the same thing. You walk next to a clock where it seems to be spinning quite quickly in the counterclockwise direction. And as you get closer, you watch your hands shrinking. You watch your skin getting younger. You watch yourself, you feel yourself getting younger and smaller, and you quickly walk away and you realize that you're again the same person you were when you walked in. And then so you try to reach for some of the clock hands and you try to spin them, you know, where you force them to move in directions that you wish them to move, and you realize that you do have a say in this time. You do have control over some of its movements, at least in this realm that you're in, that you can move the hands forwards or backwards, that you do have the ability. You do have the ability to slow time, you have the ability to speed up time and stop time. And then this is just something that you need to take with yourself, and knowledge that you know that when you're in this realm, it's okay, you know, in this room of purple and blue. he says, then you look over and there's a tree, a large, large tree in the distance. And as you're looking at this tree, you watch the sun and the moon. They're both in the sky and they're cycling as like faster than you've ever seen a sun and a moon cycle, where the tree is in full bloom. And then all of a sudden you start to see it going through all the changes of the seasons in like a blink of an eye. You know, the leaves are turning into autumn leaves, the leaves are falling, the tree is bare, and now the leaves are starting to appear back up on the branches, and it's this never-ending cycle. You know, and then you're looking up at the moon and you're just watching all the moon phases, and it seems to be happening in a matter of moments. And you know, and he says, and you're just taking all of this in, and you decide that you can enter this world anytime you wish, and you know that this is a world of non-linear time, that it's a time of all sorts of possibilities, forwards, backwards, sideways, reverse, diagonal, it doesn't matter. And so you decide to walk back out the door with this knowledge, and you close the door behind you, and that is the end of the meditation. And so I thought it was really fascinating. It's one that I did last night, and then I went to go hang out with Loki, and then we had a blackout. I was hanging with my black kitty, and then we had a blackout for like 3 minutes. But yeah, I thought that was an amazing exercise. They have other things in this book for you to do. Like one of them, those of you that like to journal, let me get to it. Okay. It's more of a creative writing exercise. New Age Genetic, you have a really nice voice for guided meditation videos. Thank you. You know, I was thinking of doing a like a spirit guide or a past life meditation video for next week. So it's interesting you bring that up. I thought, since I did like a pet meditation video, you know, meditation with your pets and kind of connecting with them, that I thought it might be fun to do another, you know, just guided meditation, you know, not just thought it might be fun. If you ever wanted to expand your content. Yes, so yeah, I was actually thinking of doing that. So yeah. And so Ted Andrews says, those of you that like creative writing, maybe having a little bit of fun in a journal, think about a place that you've always been drawn to, any place in the world. For me, like I'm like Germany or Italy, I mean, Italy for sure. Like that's, I would rather, yeah, my soul is in Italy, but one day I want to go to Germany too. And I feel like a piece of me is there. Bella, what's up? She said, hello, my lovely peeps. OMG, I need to tell you about a 5QHH I had yesterday, and I was under 3 hours and found out so much. Whoa. Sherry Bug said Egypt for sure. Oh, Egypt too. Okay, Italy, Egypt, Germany. Yes. Oh, Italy is my home, says Bella. Yeah, yeah, I would say, yeah, those 3 places in the world in particular. Yeah, Egypt, anywhere in Germany. Well, actually, no. Probably where some of my ancestors are from, which is like Mecklenburg, which is like to the north. And Italy. Yes. Well, I have ancestors from Italy too, but they're also from the north. Okay, so, okay, well, let's do this exercise. So maybe let's actually, I don't have a pen and paper here with me, but let's do it for you guys. And anybody who's going to be watching this on the playback, I think it might be fun. So if you have your journals, and, you know, maybe if you're out and about right now, you could do this later. But if you happen to be home and you happen to have a journal and you happen to have some sparkly unicorn pen that you could write with, then go ahead and take those out. Bella said, I had a life in Egypt. Don't ask who I was. Oh, I'm pretty sure I was in Egypt too. I'm pretty sure I was Senusret II, but you know, I mean, that's for a different conversation. Okay, so you're gonna create a fictional character in this place that you've always been drawn to. So again, like Egypt, Italy, or wherever it might be in the world. Maybe it's in the city that you currently reside in. You just feel like, I just have always liked the city that I reside in, and that's cool too. So you're gonna answer these 10 questions, and you're gonna create this fictional scene. and then, you know, I'll tell you more afterwards. So, number one, would you be male or female? You know, what if you're creating this fictional person in this place that you've always been drawn to? Number two, what would you do for a living? Number three, what kind of clothes or costumes did you wear? And you can, guys could always go back and rewatch this and write this stuff down. Number four, what was your house like? What kind of furnishings did you have? Number five, what was a normal day in your life like there? Sherrybug said Bastet, Sekhmet, and Hathor have been pulling at me the past couple of weeks. Oh, or the past week, yes. For me, it's Horus. Horus is like always my homeboy. So every time I see like a hawk, which there are so many hawks in this neighborhood, actually wherever I go, there's hawks. I always think it's Horus. I don't know if I said number five. What was a normal day in your life like here? Number six, what were some of the customs of this area? Were there any unusual ones? Again, you're just making this all up. You don't need to go do some research or anything like that. You're just sitting down, you're just journaling, you're making stuff up. Number seven, were you married? If so, did you have any children? If not, why not? Number eight, what kind of laws existed at this time in this place? Number nine, what were the predominant religious beliefs? And number 10, were there ever any special celebrations, religious or otherwise, that you can describe? So anyway, after you finish that journaling, Ted Andrews says to kind of sit with that and see how much of that actually resonates with you and that you connect with. Because he said possibly, even though you think it's just made up, that's just fictional, that it could possibly, you could be drawing from past life experience, but your brain is saying that it's safe to pull these thoughts out because it's just for fun and it's just fictional. So you allow your brain to be a little bit more open instead of closed off, where your logical side might jump in and say, oh, past lives, that's not real, you know. So you kind of shut that down by allowing your creative side of your brain to open up and create this fictional account. So if you guys end up like playing this back and watching it, you know, I highly recommend you guys doing that journaling. I've actually already done it before, which is why, well, also I don't want to pull out my journal and stuff here. But yeah, I've done it before. I found it really interesting. The person that I came up with, I don't know why I always come up with males, but yeah, and later on, you know, after you guys have done this exercise, just, you can email me, tara@kittensweightsandtarot.com, or just like post in the comments below. Just tell me what you guys found out. What'd you come up with this fictional character? Maybe you came up with a name. Bella said the ego doesn't allow it. Yes, the ego is like, you cannot pass go, you cannot collect $500. Sherrybug, oh, I think this I will this evening get some candles and incense going. There you go. That sounds like a good time. Okay, what's the next section I'm going into? Okay, so I haven't read the rest of the book, but the next section is called Understanding the Role of Karma. So that might tap into some of my understandings of Buddhism. Okay, so here is what he has in this book. It's a relatively short book, you know. Okay, so he has his chapter 1 is Understanding Reincarnation. Chapter 2 is Awakening Ancient Knowledge of Past Lives. That's like through those two exercises. Number 3 is Understanding the Role of Karma. Number 4, Karmic Connections, Soulmates, and Twin Souls. Number 5, Understanding and Aiding Past Life Meditation. Number 6 is Past Life Therapy through the Tree of Life. 7 is Self-Hypnosis and Past Life Awareness. Number 8, Dowsing Your Past Lives. Number 9, The Rites of Passage. And number 10, Proving Your Past Lives, which I find interesting, but I want to read through all of it first. I don't want to like jump to a section and be like, "Ooh, how do you prove it?" I want to see like what the buildup is, like all the steps that he has you go through, all the exercises. You know, I think it might be fun and interesting. Okay. And now I want to show you guys a couple of decks. I have a couple of decks that are actually for past lives. You know, if you're interested, I guess whether you believe or not, I think it would still be fun. So let me get some more tea. By the way, I haven't showed you guys my new shirt. I got my new Ghostbuster shirt. I got it in the men's section at Target. All they had was a medium left, so I had to like kind of tie it up a little bit so it's not so big, but yeah, I ain't afraid of no ghosts. Okay, so the first deck that I have is called the Reincarnation Cards, Awakening Far Memory. Bella was asking what book it was. This was by Ted Andrews, and it's called How to Uncover Your Past Lives. Yes, Sherry Bug. Who you gonna call? Ghostbusters! Ow! Now I want to watch it. I want to watch it tonight. You know, I used to watch Ghostbusters so much, like 1 and 2, that I actually wore out the VHS tape, my parents' VHS tape of Ghostbusters 1. It like literally broke because I watched it like twice a day, every day. And I was like, I wanted to be a Ghostbuster so bad. And Slimer was my friend. I'm like, Slimer would be my friend. And I was like, I wish somebody would explode a Stay Puft Marshmallow Man around me, because I want to like swim in marshmallow. Like, I thought that would be like really fun. Okay, so these are called the Reincarnation Cards, Awakening Far Memory. And I got this, I don't believe I got it new. I can't remember if I got it in a trade or I got it used off of eBay. Why doesn't that surprise me? Whoa, whoa, whoa. Cards don't fall. Okay, so it's different types of cards. Let me show you guys. I have all the cards kind of stacked in here and separated because there's different piles of cards, and you read one card from each pile to kind of go into a past life. And so there's a big book that comes with it. There we go. And it's actually like a fabric cover book, so it's pretty cool. And this is by John M. Knowles, M.A. and Linda LeBlanc. So here's the book, and basically it does go into the cards and like, you know, what each of the cards means. But it's, hold on. Okay, so each of these cards has a different symbol on it. So one has a circular symbol, and that means that was your culture. So what culture your past life came from. One has the infinity symbol, and this is your termination, how you passed away. So I usually put that towards the end. And then you have your, which has a square backing. This was your occupation. You know, it has the occupations on the other side. And then you have a diamond, which is supposed to have been your environment, so kind of where you lived. And then this little cross is like the theme. And so there's actually like 2 ways of reading your theme. Hello. But they all saw Loki.
You already came by. Hello.
Yeah. Yeah, he was here. So let's say, like for the theme, it's always like, it gives you a choice. What are you more drawn to? Like this or this? Are you more drawn to this or this? Yeah, so there we go. Okay, and so
I'm just gonna hang out with you now.
Oh, well, hello, Loki. So nice of you to hang out. New Age said Loki. So in here they said, you know, whatever past life comes up for you, it could be that it's not actually a past life, but it's using a life in order to help you through an issue that you might be going through. You know, so it's just a life that you can kind of see what the theme was and kind of what the beginning and ending of this person's life was, and how can you translate that into your own life, with like what you're going through, and you can use that for healing. Or you could talk about it actually being a past life, and then what connections is that making into your current life. So you can see it as your actual past life, or you could not. It's like up to you. That's kind of what they're saying in this book. And I think you could get it pretty cheap, because if I remember, it was either I got it in a trade or I got it used. And I usually don't pay a whole bunch for used decks. Excuse me. Okay. So, who wants to be the guinea pig? I'll just choose like just one person so we can see how the deck works, you know, because I don't want to go through, I think we got 11 people in here, you know, to go through everybody. But, oh, thank you, Sherry Bug. Thanks, Max. But anybody want to be the guinea pig where we, you know, pull a past life? Okay, Sherry Bug. All right. So Sherry Bug is the first one to respond. So we will use her as the guinea pig. So either, you know, Sherry Bug, you could believe that this is actually a past life of yours, or you could say it just has connections to my life now, and then maybe you can, you know, work through it that way. So this isn't like forcing anybody to believe in past lives. It's just, it's fascinating. So I'm going to be pulling from the cards with the circles. I'm going to be pulling your culture first. So let's take a look at Sherry Bug's culture, her past culture. So let's look for a life that's relevant to what she's dealing with right now. Okay. So I'm going to pull one from each card, so then we can put this all together. So your card is pulled, and I'm going to put that off to the side. And then the next one is your occupation. Okay, so what was Sherry Bug's occupation at that time? Sherry Bug's occupation. Okay. That's interesting. Like every time I think it's going to be a card, it is that card. It just must be a really good guesser. Okay, so what was your environment? An environment is these. Bella, want to see my rich past life? Oh my gosh, my dream last night, I dreamt that like we moved into a mansion. It was this one story, like huge house, and I was like, oh my god, I have to do a house tour, and I need to show all my friends, you know, my peeps that come, you know, on my Saturday live chats, my YouTube friends. And I was like, I need to show them. And I don't know, I don't know. This dream was a crackhead dream, but anyway. Okay, and this next one is your theme. So this was the theme of your life back then. Sherry Bug's theme. Sherry Bug's theme. Okay, got that one. Interesting. And then the infinity symbol. How was that life terminated? You have been terminated. Rejected and denied. Oh. Okay, well that card flew out, so okay, I'm guessing that's your card. Okay, let's grab all your cards. Okay, let's just see if I can fan these out for you. So, first card, Max says, I look forward to dreaming when I sleep. That's funny, right? Oh, I look forward to my dreams too, because they're so kooky. Okay, so Sherry Bug, it says the culture that you are in a past life that's connecting to this life now. It was in South America. So I'm gonna show you these cards and then tell you kind of what I get from them. Your occupation in South America, you were a builder. Okay. Okay, and then what was your environment? So if you were some sort of builder, you made stuff in South America, the environment that you lived in was a type of forest. So right away I thought like the Amazon. Okay, and then what was the theme? I have a choice of either stability or instability. So kind of like the breaking of this tower, or more stable, like this pyramid here. I'm gonna go with instability. I mean, I want to go for the pyramid because, you know, I like Egypt, but I'm just feeling instability. How did you eventually pass away? What was your termination in that life? It was disease. Okay. So let's see what I'm getting. So then, you know, I mean, I guess you could just like take it like that. You could, you know, take out the book and like read on like what each card is. You know, you could do it that way, or you can, you know, apply your intuition, which I love to do. So give me a second and I'll tell you what I'm getting from your cards. Okay, so Sherry Bug, what I was getting is, you know, right away, because I was thinking like Amazon rainforest. So, you know, am thinking kind of somewhere in there. Um, long time ago. Back before, I mean, it was probably a long time before the first person from the outside, you know, stepped into those cultures that reside in the Amazon rainforest. But I'm guessing this is like a long time, long time ago. And I was getting that you were male and that you were actually in charge of like building the like deity sculptures for outside of temples, like just as like, you know, to the heavens, to the gods, to the nature spirits, just like it was like your love. I mean, but you got paid to do it too. Not like money, but it seemed like most everything was through trade. Like you do this, then we give you this for your family. So it was like good for your family. Although I see you as more of an elderly man towards the end, where like your love is just to make these items of not really worship, because I don't want to say like worship like they're worshiping the statue itself, but more as it's your love for these deities is why you're creating them. And you're showing your appreciation, like you're showing like your dedication to them by creating them. And plus people love your work. I mean, you're not the only artist in the neighborhood, but people like your work. And so I kind of just saw you near the end where you're people were bringing you stuff to eat and to drink because it seemed like you had just like this cough or this cold, and you're working on this statue, but it's this statue that you were determined to finish, and so you didn't want to take a break. You felt like you had to finish it now. I'm not quite sure what the disease was that you passed away from. Could have been pneumonia. I'm thinking it was something as simple. Well, pneumonia isn't simple, but you know, if it's not treated, people die from pneumonia, and usually we don't think of pneumonia. It's like, oh, pneumonia, like some people get pneumonia, but this was actually something I believe that you may have died from, was pneumonia, just because you weren't quite maybe giving yourself the rest that you needed, because you just felt like you needed to push through and finish this project, which I felt like you were pretty close to completion, but unfortunately you never really got to see like the finished work, because I felt like you passed away before that. But there you go. That's how I would use the Awakening Far Memory Reincarnation cards. So again, this is the front. I don't know if you guys want to search it up if you're interested in it. You know, always, you know, look for some used decks. But yeah, I find that really fascinating. You know, I like to pull, you know, some of that stuff every now and then and kind of see like past life coming up for me. And Sherrybug said that was so cool. So I don't know if it's if like parts of what I said actually connect to stuff that you're doing right now, or maybe are going through, or maybe just like the the theme of that. But I always think that, sometimes, since I do believe in past lives, that certain past lives pop up. Well, the ones that will pop up are ones that are most closely related to what we might be going through now. And so it's like, okay, this is how you went through it in the past, and this is how you can go through it now, or this is something that you struggled on in the past, and this is why you struggle with it now. So now let's like actually figure it out this time round. So yeah, I thought that was interesting. Sherry Bug, I can for sure see me neglecting my health to complete something I love. Yeah, I could probably see that too, because sometimes I get that like laser focus, and it's like I can't eat or sleep until it's done, because I tend to obsess on things until it's like complete. There was I will share with you, the first time, actually, the one and only time I've been to a palm reader. It was in downtown San Diego, just before the year 2000. So this was just before New Year's. It was the end of December, just before New Year's, and I was with a guy that had just kind of started dating, and we were like, oh my God, we're in love. And he lived in like northern San Diego kind of area, and and I was off at Long Beach, but I had come home and I was like visiting. And so we were like hanging out, and stuff like that. And we are walking around downtown, and I saw, the palm reader sign, and I can't tell you like what street were we on. I don't even know if I could go back and find it now in downtown. I don't know. I guess I could look up palm readers in downtown. But I was like, ooh, let's go get our palms read. I was like, ooh, that might be fun, And so he's like, sure, like, why not? I said, well, let's figure out how much it costs, because like I have no cash. And so we went in, and this is like my like first year at Long Beach or something. Yeah, this is my first year at Long Beach. And so yeah, we go inside, and it was like $20 for like reading one palm, something like that, and the palm reader said she preferred that she got to read both palms because they meant something. And she was like, but it was like $20 for one palm reading. And then she was like, or if you would like a whole tarot reading, it costs like $35. And if you would like, and I was like, yeah, we don't really have a whole lot of cash, actually. Like, this is like the only $20 we have. So I think I like chipped in like a few dollars, and then my boyfriend at the time had chipped in some money, and we only had enough for one of us to get our palms read. So he was like, why don't you get your palm read? So I was like, okay. And so I wrote down some of the things that she had said, but most of the rest is like forgotten now. But so she looks at my right hand, and hold on, more tea. And then she was like, okay. And she was like telling me all this stuff. She says like, oh, I see like, you're going to be working with like groups of people someday, like possibly children, like maybe you're going to be a teacher. And I was like, yeah, I'm like, I just changed my major to like being a teacher, like going into education. And, cause I originally was going in for fashion design. She's like, okay. And then she's like, oh, and then I see here, she goes, but I see like throughout your whole life, whether it's children or not, or adults, she goes, I just see that you're always like teaching large groups of people. And I was like, okay. And then she was I think she was saying some other things, but it sounded like really generic to me. So I was kind of tuning out. And then she was like, oh, do you know that you have like psychic ability? And I'm like thinking, oh, she probably like tells that to everybody, because I was like really skeptical. And I was like, yeah, I guess so. And she says, you receive a lot of information through your dreams though. And I was like, oh yeah, I guess so. And she was like, and she says, that's where deceased spirits talk to you. And I was like, oh yeah, I guess so. I mean, it's true, but I was like thinking, well, what if she just says that to everyone, And so I'm like kind of taking what she's saying with a grain of salt, and I'm just like, okay, that's kind of cool, and then she's like, oh, and then I see in the year 2000 you're going to be making more money. And I was like, well, of course. I was like, if somebody is like working hard, they're always like going to be making a little bit more than the year before, especially if like I was like with the the cost of living adjustments and all that stuff. And then she was saying, past life, she was like, I see you in Egypt, and I see that you had a past life, and she said, oh, hold on, she had to go get some water or something. So I was like joking around with my boyfriend at the time, and I was like, oh yeah, I was like, I bet I was like, Queen Nefertiti, and you were like my cat, and then when she came back, she's like looking at stuff, and she's like, so is this does any of what I'm saying like connect with you? I was like, yeah, I guess so, but it just seems really generic. And I don't know, I think something in her like snapped, and then all of a sudden it's like her demeanor changed, and she was yelling at me. I mean, not yelling at me, but she was raising her voice at me, and I was like, am I getting my voice raised at by a palm reader? Like she was but not like yelling at me like being mad at me, but she like grabbed my hand, and she like was like and she was like, she says, okay girlfriend, she's all, I'm gonna have to get serious with you because you are not taking it seriously. And I was like, I said, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to offend you. And she says, do you know that you get it wrong like in every past life? She goes, your past life keeps, you keep reliving. It's like the same life, because you're meant to be with this one person. She goes, who's going to help you with that next stage that you need to get at, but you never really get to that next stage because you never really get with that person. And you always, you fail to take action. And she says, you need to take action in this life. And I was like, what are you talking about? I am so lost. Like, okay, this is not the spiel I was looking for. And she's like, she says, okay, she says, the man that you marry, the man that you spend the rest of your life with, she says, you have already met him. And I was like, well, yeah, I know. I'm like, I'm pretty sure like me and my guy here, we're like gonna be together like forevers. And she's like, okay, yeah, well, whatever. I mean, but you've already met this guy. Like, she's totally disregarding everything I just said. She's like, you've already met this guy. You're going to be good friends. She goes, but it's going to take a long time before you guys actually start dating. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, my boyfriend is right here. And she's like, so, she says, and if you two ever decide to get married, she goes, and have children, you're going to have twins. And I was like, twins don't run in my family. I like looked at my boyfriend at the time, twins run in your family? He's like, twins don't run in my family. I'm like, okay, twins don't run in his family. And she's like disregarding everything I'm saying because I'm obviously like stupid and I don't get it. And she's like, and she says, and this person, she says, who you finally get with, she says, you will be with this one person for the rest of your life. She goes, and you will grow old together. And she says, and she says, you won't have anyone else. It will just be him. Yes, twin panther pumas. And she's like, and she says, and you will one day, work on your psychic ability. She goes, whether you think I'm whatever you think. And she was like, and she says, and she was just basically going on that you need to finally get with this person because this person is the person that helps you believe in yourself and helps you to become the person that you were meant to be by helping you to find yourself and have confidence in yourself. And you will finally be able to achieve your dreams and everything you've ever wanted to do because this person is your biggest supporter. And I was like so lost. I was like, what? And she was like, and when you turn 25, and I was like, because at the time, this is, I was still 18. It was just before I turned like 19. She's like, when you turn 25, you will go through the worst breakup that you think that you will never recover from. It will be a horrible breakup. You will feel horrible inside. You'll feel like the whole world is coming down on you. It feels like your whole world is being turned upside down, but it's the best thing that will ever happen to you because it's after that time that you finally get with the guy that you were meant to be with, and you get to start not just like that relationship, but your life changes, like how you perceive the world changes, everything changes. Wrote all that down. Cut to, by the way, I knew the dude at that time. Like he and I had kind of just met somewhere around like 2000. We were friends for about 6 years before we started dating. I was 25 when we first started dating. Keith says, I meant to say eyebrows on fleek. And when I was 25, I did go through, it was a horrible breakup. It was with a guy that I thought like I was like gonna marry, and then I was like, no, that's like a wrong decision. Like he was really not like a good guy. He wasn't a nice guy, and I was like didn't know what I was thinking. And like it was like my something, I was like in the shower and I could have heard loud and clear, maybe it was my own voice that was like, you can get out of this relationship, like you don't need this guy. And I was like, I don't need this guy. You're right, thank you, self. You know, and I picked up my girl cojones and I, you know, left that relationship. Right afterwards, Brian and I started dating, and that was back in 2006. So yeah, our anniversary is coming up in November, and I literally just, he's not here. Okay, I literally just like got our anniversary gifts and stuff like that. So anyway, it's gonna be fun. He's really gonna like it. But yeah, and then and I was telling the dude like about the time I saw a palm reader, and I was telling him about the twin thing, and he started laughing, and he's like, well, you know, my dad's a twin, right? And I was like, he says, you know, he says my uncle is, you know, my dad's brother, they're twins. And I was like, they don't look like twins. He's like, well, they're like fraternal twins. And I was like, oh. He's like, so yeah, twins run in the family. And I was like, oh, I don't know if I want to have kids. You know, I'm cool with a puma and a panther, you know, I don't mind being the puma panther mom. So yeah, oh, and yeah, it was I don't know, I just thought that was interesting, you know, years later how all that kind of played out. And so yeah, there you go, there was that past life sort of, I don't know, kind of topsy-turvy palm reader reading. But yeah, it you know, her reading or whatever, you know, and it's like if she didn't get firm with me, I probably wouldn't have paid attention. I probably wouldn't have written it down. It wouldn't, you know, mean as much as it does like today, where I'm like, wow, oh my God. But you know, obviously what she was talking about took years to take place, you know. I had to hit 25. I had to go through some stuff, you know. I had to, yeah. And I did. I kind of learned that, you know, I didn't need to rely on somebody. So although the dude and I got together, you just know it's like he doesn't do everything for me. It's like I learned how to be a big girl and do things myself, and learn that I make my own decisions and I have my own thoughts, and I can do, you know, because I was kind of in a controlling relationship, you know. And so yeah, I finally got to be more of the person that you guys see today. So the weird me that I am today, that's thanks to the dude. So Sherry Bug, thank you for the past life cards, by the way. You are so welcome. Okay, so let me show you another deck, you know, in case you guys are interested. Max asked, are you wearing a special leaf jewelry? Oh, well, I actually made this. This was one of my aunt's earrings. My aunt who passed away about 2 years ago now. And this was one of her earrings, but I couldn't find the other earring. And so I ended up just making it a necklace. So I had this like really, really delicate thin chain. And I decided to take the hoop off of it and just, or like the hook, and just like add a little hoop. And, you know, I made my own little leaf necklace, and yeah, I think it's pretty. The leaf is made of, it's like mother of pearl. So I just, yeah, I'm like, you know, that way I get to still like wear it. And, you know, I mean, I guess I could wear like the one earring and be all like 80s cool, but which is what I used to do, but decided to make it into a necklace instead. That's cute. Fab. Thank you. Okay, so here we go. Next deck. I only have 2 decks, by the way. This is called It's Your Karma cards. I don't know if you guys have seen this before. Let's see, author on here, Kathy Daniel Vitkak. Yeah, certified past life coach. www.itsyourkarma.com. And these are circular cards. And there is a kind of a guidebook that goes with this as well. Here it is. And in here, Max says, I'm looking forward to that one. In here, whatever card, you pull up. Okay, so let me actually just show you the cards. Okay, so here's the backs. And let's say what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to shuffle the cards. Shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. And then, like, let's say this card pops out, you take it and you toss it. And you toss the card, and if the card lands with, there's all these words going around the card, so if the card lands and it's like facing you, like this is the word that's facing you, you look at it, and it says Ireland 1000 BC to 1000, and it says male slave. So then you go into your guidebook here and you look up Ireland. Aaron, let's see, 1000 BC. Okay, and then it has like a little explanation of like what was going on like in Ireland at that time, with the energy of the era, the energy of the roles in that era, and then let's say you find the male slaves. Slaves were acquired from war, raids, and debt servitude. Slavery was hereditary, although release through work was possible. Slave trade was an early avenue of contract between Celtic societies and the rest of the world. So then from there you can like sit and do a little bit of meditation, see what that means to you. So, okay, well, we used Sherry Bug last time. Do I have one person that maybe wants to be the guinea pig for these cards? So it's just tossing one card and then kind of reading from the book what that may be, and then kind of sitting with it, and then we see kind of what we get. So anybody want to try a little past life from that? Ooh, I think the light's coming into the room. This is fabulous. Okay, Bella, you got it. Okay, so I'm gonna do a little shuffle shuffle for Bella. Hold on. It's like too many cards. Bella, you got too many past lives. Okay. Oh, okay. One flipped over. Okay, and I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna toss this card and see Bella's past life. So something that connects to you now. Okay, I tossed the card. The word that's facing me is female scholar. Okay, so it was tossed this way, and female scholar was kind of facing me. Go, Bella, that's a fact. She living them now. Yes, Max. Okay, so female scholar in France, Napoleonic era, 1799 to 1815. Okay, so let's look up on that. So let me keep it pointed. Female scholar. So here we Vive la France. Let's go to France. We want to go to the Napoleonic era. Here we go. Okay, so it gives you a brief history of that era. Napoleon I took the title of emperor in 1804. Napoleon created a powerful central administration and fought many wars, which expanded his empire. Napoleon was defeated in Russia in 1812 and again in Waterloo in 1815. Louis XVIII replaced Napoleon, who was then overthrown by Charles X. Charles's reign was much like the old regime, and this led to the July Revolution of 1830, where Louis Philippe was elected king. His reign lasted 18 years until 1848 and was a time of prosperity. In 1848, Louis Napoleon was elected the first president of the Second Republic and was proclaimed Emperor Napoleon II. So the energy of the era. The energy was of widespread upheaval, constant change, and frustration. Despite the many advances begun by Napoleon I, the lives of the lower classes did not markedly improve. The energy of the roles. Traditional male and female roles were followed. Women were actually reduced to second-class citizens by law. However, in Bella's case, Bella was a scholar at the time, so let's see for female scholars. Napoleon I supported a team of intellectuals called savants, who created a Description de l'Egypte. Oh my gosh, a massive encyclopedia that incorporated the work of of thousands of artists and scholars. The support for scholars at this time was intoxicating. Egyptian descriptions? Are you serious? So, yes. Hello. Okay, yes, that's Loki getting in the thingy up there. Okay, so Bella says you are still a scholar. Or sorry, Max says Bella, you are still a scholar, right? Bella, OMG, how funny! The first life I went back to yesterday. Bella said you can watch the video. It's going to be on YouTube when she puts it up. She said this week. Oh my gosh, that is so cool. How rad is that? Next Saturday, I'll give you guys. Yeah, share the link when it goes up because I'd be so excited to watch that. So next Saturday. Yes, 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 yes. Okay, so let's see what I get just by kind of sitting with what I've learned there. So I'm going to hold on to your card here. My dude is working out in Loki's room / the gym right now, so you're gonna hear some pumping iron as he gets buff. Max said, okay, please, Bella. And Bella says, yes, I will. Yes. Okay. Female scholar. Okay. Bella, the only thing I was getting with that, 1820, close enough, right? Yes. Hey, 1820, that's like 5 years away from 1815. So I was getting the only like thing that popped into my brain was like this long wooden table with kind of all these texts, but also all this ink for writing. And I see that you were at this table with a couple of men, could have been a few more men, and you guys are writing stuff down, and you had an objection to something where you're pointing down to something they're writing, and okay, my French is not that good, but you know, I can kind of sort of understand my friend Steph when she's speaking French, but I can't I can't. um, it sounded like, gosh, I'm sorry if you guys speak French and I totally butcher this. I'm so sorry. I'm not even sure if these are words I'm saying, but it was like, entre con, entre it sounds entre con, something like that. And then like no 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 like no no no, you were like pointing to something that this person was writing down, like almost getting the feeling like you can't just change history like that, you know. I'm sorry if I'm butchering French, I'm so sorry. It was like autre con, something like that. But just like no, like you can't just like, just because you're a lazy scholar, like just because you're lazy in doing your research, you can't just like write down whatever you want, you know, basically is kind of what I was getting. So you're like demanding that this person like change that, you know. So just more like you like regulating what's being written down and making sure that it's backed up by facts. Max says you getting there. So yeah, that's kind of all I was getting, Bella. It was just like that brief moment in time of like what the hell are you doing? Like you can't just write down all willy-nilly whatever you want and call it facts, because people are gonna be studying this as fact, you know, and you can't just make up stuff. Bella says something, it sounds like something I would say. Can we just making crap up? So yeah, so those are both of my my past life decks that I have, you know. So if you guys are interested in that stuff, you're interested in decks that are specific to past life work, then yeah, I would say definitely look into the reincarnation cards, Awakening Far Memory, by hold on. Make sure I have the author. Hello, author, where are you? Oh, John Knowles, MA, and Linda LeBlanc, you know, if you were interested in this. Or It's Your Karma Cards by Kathy Daniel Vidkak. And I believe that the author of these cards has made a YouTube video or two. Because I think I went on YouTube to go like check it out. I think she's made like 1 or 2 videos. So yeah, definitely go check these out. And the book that I mentioned earlier, for those who joined later, I talked about the How to Uncover Your Past Lives book by Ted Andrews, and I thought that's a fabulous read. And let's see, I want to do like one last thing before I say peace out for this Saturday live chat. Bella, you are so welcome. They have a YouTube channel. Yep, they do. Oh, awesome, awesome, awesome. Let's do, I found a past life spread for us to do, and this comes from the Ultimate Guide to Tarot Spreads, and that's by Liz Dean. So if you're interested, on page 144, as my favorite numbers, there is a past life spread, and it's created from the book Many Lives, Many Masters, which is like my fave book of all time. I decided to donate it because I feel like I've gotten everything I needed from that book, and I want like other people to, oh, it's raining, that's awesome. And I want other people to, you know, get, you know, something out of that book. I don't want to like hold on to a book. It's like maybe somebody will come across it at the Goodwill and like totally changes their life. And it says, oh, I love this one, majors only. You can use all majors if you wish, or you can use a major and some minors. But okay, so if you don't know Many Lives, Many Masters, that is by Brian Weiss, or Brian Weiss, and I love watching, he did like a past life regression meditation video, so you definitely type it in on YouTube. That is crazy. So if you want to like listen to like a deep like hypnosis sort of meditation through YouTube, like check that out. That's crazy. And it's not short, it's pretty lengthy, but like it's, check it out, check it out. So check out Brian Weiss. And I know, okay, everything's backwards, so it's probably a moot point to show you guys, but okay. So let me grab a deck of cards, and I'll go through this with you guys. So while I'm grabbing a deck, why don't you guys grab a deck of cards? Grab your cards. But don't use the majors first. Yes. Okay, so, but let me grab a deck real quick. Okay, I'm going to use my personal deck. I'm going to use my Athlete's Tarot. Okay, so let me read from here. And here's the major arcana on this side. Okay, so it says, this spread is inspired by Dr. Brian Weiss's book, Many Lives, Many Masters. It's the true life experience of Dr. Weiss, a psychiatrist, and one of his patients, Catherine. Under hypnosis, Catherine revealed that she had 78 past lives. She's not only traveled back in time to re-experience these lives, but she also entered a between-life state during which she channeled life-changing messages for Weiss himself and conversed with masters to relay their wisdom about the true nature of human existence. Separate the major and minor arcana cards into 2 piles. Shuffle the majors and ask, who was I? Which past life influence is with me today? Choose a card and place it face down as shown. Now shuffle the minor arcana and ask, tell me about this life. Choose 3 cards and place them as shown. So just like this. Okay, so major up here, the 3 minors down here. With this tarot spread, we work on the assumption that we may have had many past lives that now influence our everyday experience, and we explore one past life that may be relevant to us right now, in this moment. Before beginning this reading, try imagining your past lives as a collection of stories in a book. When you're shuffling your cards, you're turning the pages to find the life you need to know about today. The first card reveals the past life, the dominant character traits or experiences of the person you were at that time. Cards 2, 3, and 4 show aspects of this life, and card 4 also represents the karma that's carried forward into this life. Sorry, my phone's going into low power mode. This card may reveal a challenge or a gift. To interpret card 1, the Major Arcana card, refer to the list of associations on the next page. So here they have the Major Arcana, and here they have what like occupation that could have been. So let me plug in my phone real quick because it's the juice is low, people. The juice is low. Okay, there we go. Okay, so I'm going to separate my majors and minors. Or you know what? I'm going to be lazy about it and I'm going to just shuffle until I get a major. And that will be one of my past lives that's most relevant to me now. So if you have your decks, why don't you start separating your majors and your minors? And this is my personal deck with like all my personal like images off the internet, like, you know, one that I can't really sell, but while you guys are doing that, P.S. Wally's World Oracle update. So I got to Skype with my printer overseas. I have to go back and make adjustments to the border of my deck because of where the bleed is and what size we want to make them. Like, to save money, we're going to make it like slightly smaller, like just a hair smaller than the size that I have them. So I have to bring in like my symbols of like my circles and my triangles like more inwards away from the edges so that they're not cut off in the printing process. So that means I have to go back and I have to go fix the borders and then apply to them to all 64 cards. And then I have to go back and I have to shrink all 64 cards. So I have to go back and make them a little bit smaller. So I got a little bit of work ahead and I'm still working on the guidebook. So, you know, making a deck is like, it's kind of hard, yo. Okay, so past life. Okay, so we're choosing a Major Arcana card. Okay, luckily, because I didn't separate my cards, luckily a Major Arcana card was the first to come up, the Death card. And actually in this picture, that's Flojo. After she passed away, so she's in the hearse there. One of my fave track and field runners of all time, next to Gail Devers. Okay, so the Death card, the Transformer, the Executor of Change. So I was somebody who was in charge of massive change. Max got the Empress. What else did you guys get? So Max has the Empress. I have Death. Wow, the Transformer, Executor of Change. I suppose I'll know more when I pull my 3 minors. But, okay, that's interesting. Empress. Empress is the creator, the artist, homemaker. Anybody else get something else? Okay, that's interesting. My volume just started updating itself. Okay, Sherrybug got the Tower. Sherrybug, the one who is homeless or sent away. Oh no! So the one who is homeless or sent away, Tower. Okay, you guys get any other cards? And I'm going to start pulling my minors so I can get a little bit more information about me, this Death card, this person who enacts change. Yeah, so the great Transformer. Ooh, maybe I was a Transformer. I'm more than meets the eye. Okay. Okay, I'm asking only for minor arcana cards. Only minor arcana cards. Okay. Nope, that is major, but I will take this one. It's kind of nice that when you're just like willing majors or minors to pop up, they do pop up, which is like kind of cool. All right, so I got all 3 minors. That's excellent. Okay, and I have a court card in there too. Okay, so my three cards, my three minors cards, I got one's a court card, Page of Pentacles. Yes, John Cena, heck yeah. To me, John Cena is like a really like buff Matt Damon. I don't know if you guys like think that. Then I got the Four of Pence. You got this little piggy. He's keeping his little rugby ball to himself. And then I got the Seven of Swords. And that is Marion Jones showing off her medals. Of course, we know that there was a little bit of sneakiness that went on, and she came out that she had been doping. But in order to, like, she could have won without doping, but whatever. Anyway, let's see. So how I would put these all together. And so they said that the fourth card is some sort of karma that's being brought over. Okay, Sherrybug got the King of Elixirs, Three of Elixirs, and the Queen of Rods. Okay, so, and the elixirs are cups, right? So you got the King of Cups, Three of Cups, and Queen of Rods. That's interesting. So Three of Rods would be your karma that's being carried over into this life. Max got the Four of Cups, then the Knight of Wands, and the Knight of Pentacles. Ooh, a couple of knights in there. So your Knight of Pentacles then would be your karma that's being carried over into this lifetime. Okay, so the Great Transformer. I just keep thinking Transformers, but okay. Serious people, serious, be serious. Okay, so 2 Pentacles cards, 1 Swords card. I usually like to see what do I have the majority of. So something in the material world. Okay, so for myself, I was getting that I was somebody of power, somebody that had the ability to make or break people. Like I had the ability to make people's lives easier or harder, just depending on, you know, maybe I was in politics, possibly the laws that I was enacting. But I was the person that could create change. You know, if I wanted to fix up the city, you know, I could rearrange funds and I could do that. But it seems like with this like Page of Pentacles and the Four of Pentacles, that perhaps I was fearful of losing my money, and so therefore I didn't want to give my I didn't want to be like just giving of my money to like the people, which to me now like that sucks. But I'm like, that's not me, but okay, this is my past life, whatever, maybe I learned my lesson. But it seems like I wanted to hold on to the money, and therefore was only giving of a little bit of it to the people, and then perhaps maybe even cheating some of the people out of their money just so that I could secure my own life and my own family's life and my own finances. And that may have been my undoing, you know. Let's see. Sherrybug, I'm thinking love triangle, illicit affair. Max says, I don't have a clue what mine mean. Okay, let me see. Let me look back at what Sherrybug's was. So, I don't know. What'd you say? Oh, I missed the part where you're talking about your doggy to potty more quickly. Okay, so King, oh, Three of Elixirs and Queen of Rods. Yeah, that seems like some sort of illicit love affair. I like it. I like it. Max, stay home and wait on the husband. Okay, so Max, Four of Cups, Knight of Wands, and Knight of Pentacles. Oh, you know what I'm kind of getting with that one? Is like having two suitors possibly coming after you, and like, oh, you know, you want to be like my wife because this is how you get to cook and clean for me, and this other person's like, no, you want to be my wife because wouldn't it be awesome if you just like you know, waited on me hand and foot, and you're like, no, like this is not the life I've signed up for. But I just see that as like two like suitors coming after you and being like, oh yeah, you want to be my wife and clean my house. And you're like, you both kind of suck. I'm really not excited to marry any of you. At least that's what I was getting from your cards. Awesome though. um, let's see, Sherry Bug. I was thinking for Max, maybe two people in love who can't be together. Oh, that could also be two. Max said, sounds like me. Now I'm hating cleaning. Now I hate cleaning. See me now. Let's see how like mine connects to my life now. Well, I guess I am the great enactor of change now, I guess, like as a teacher, I could, make or break kids when it comes to their grades, but like I choose not to be a dick, so I don't want to be a jerk, so I choose to like teach them what it is they need, and I make sure that my classroom is a safe environment and that nobody is talked over or feels like their opinion is less than, so that they all feel like equal. So I feel like maybe I'm still like that death card in that aspect. And when it comes to money, yes, I am very, like, I'm very watchful of my finances. I even have one of those apps that's like the wallet app, and every time I spend anything, I deduct money from that app, or anytime I give to a charity, I put money in that app, or I deduct and whatever, and if I make sales, I put that in my app. And so I am very watchful of my money, and sometimes I know when I need to hunker down with my money. And for me, money used to be a very painful thing, especially when I was younger, because there was a lack of money, and I was told that my life would always be a lack of money. And so I would just like hold on to my money, and I never wanted to spend it, and I didn't want to like give it away either. But then as I got older, I realized like, how much did that suck for me? Always feeling like I had a lack of money. So now I always want people to feel like they're abundant. So I always try to do, even if it's not money, I always try to do what I can to make other people feel like somebody's giving to you, and that there's abundance, that there's always somebody, just giving. I just feel like better giving now than staying stagnant and holding on to. So this could possibly have been a past life, and maybe I'm finally working through that karma. Because as I get older, I do feel more charitable than maybe I did when I was younger, where money was like something to be feared because it was something that was not understood. And it's just, and now it's like I understand money is just like energy, and that's like, I could create this energy and get more of this like other energy, which is like money, or I could, and the more energy I give, I feel like this more energy I get back. So I don't know. So maybe that's for me. That's my reading. But anyway, let's see what okay. Since I used Sherry Bug and I used Bella when I was like working with the decks, let's use one more person here, since there's 7 peeps here. One more person here. I'll do this past life reading for you. And then let's do a little healing, and yeah, and then you guys have an awesome Saturday. So let me grab my deck again. Does anybody want to be that guinea pig? So we already had Bella, and we already had Sherry Bug. Does anybody want to do the many lives, many masters past life with me? I know you guys were busting out your cards and doing it too, but totally have a drinking problem. Ugh. Oh well, I just landed on my leg. Sherry Bug, guess what I found online and ordered last night? The Moon Child! Yes! You're gonna love that deck. Can you say the book you are using right now? Sure. And Max, yes, I will use you. So Max will be my guinea pig. Okay, the book that I'm using is The Ultimate Guide to Tarot Spreads by Liz Dean. Okay, Max, let's do your past life reading, and then do a little healing, and then we peace out. Okay. Nope, can't use that one. That's not a majors card. So Max Okay. Finally got a majors card that popped out. Okay. Oh, by the way, heck yeah, you got the temperance card. So let's pull three minors. Three minors. Okay, that's one minor. Two minors. Three minors. I like that all the minors came out. Okay, so temperance. Temperance is Max, past life. Temperance, where are we? Temperance is the diplomat, which is kind of cool. She's in red, white, and blue. All right. Of course, it's our Mary Lou Retton. Okay. So Max is the diplomat. Okay. Then Max, we got yes, we got the Five of Wands. So we got some conflict here. We got the Queen of Cups. We have the Four of Swords. And the Four of Swords is the Karma card. Okay, so let me put all these together. So diplomat, you're the diplomat. Okay, that like came together pretty easily. Okay, especially because of the order that they're in. Okay, so why does my volume keep moving by itself? Okay, but we got the with the Five of Wands and the Queen of Cups. I'm seeing you being the diplomat, you are the Queen of Cups, and then the Four of Swords. So in whatever position that you're in, you know, with the red, white, and blue, again, could be political. That whenever there was conflict amongst the people, and mostly I'm feeling like bickering or even bickering amongst other politicians of like, well, you know, almost like getting to be childish in a way of like, you know, sometimes politicians can be childish, you know, where it's like basically, I don't like your face, but I don't like your face. And basically you were this Queen of Cups that was able to come in and just get people to like chill out, you know, and get them to realize that, do you hear yourselves right now? Do you understand that you have created this whole drama over something so stupid? Like, it seemed like that you were that type of person. And so this karma that you brought in of like, you know, just chilling out. It says, I do that now. I'm a cool operator. Or a smooth operator. Smooth operator. Yeah, so yeah, that's some of your karma that's been brought over, is just you yourself knowing when like maybe even things that you do may be getting a little petty, so you know when to chill out yourself, but also knowing how to point out to people when they need to grow up. And doing it in such a way where people don't feel like you're like the mom of like, you need to grow up, but more like, dude, really with that? And they're like, yeah, right. You are very welcome, Max. I dug that. That was pretty awesome. So anyway, let's do a little bit of a healing and then let's peace out. And I thank you so much for everybody that stayed here for this live chat. Green Owl, hey! Good morning, everyone. A good nap time, everyone. Yes. It's time for a nap time, that is for sure. And some lunch. Okay, so for I think my hair is somewhat dry-ish. I don't know, time to bring it down. There we go. If you have somebody that you wish to receive my healing that I give, then put their name here. If it's a place, if it's a furry, feathery, scaly loved one, put that here, not for me to see, but really just the intention that you're putting out into the universe, that my energy that I'm putting out, you wish it to be directed there. You know, and if you want this healing energy, it's just a quick little healing. I'm not like, you know, working miracles here, but, you know, just making people feel good. Just You could verbally say it, you can mentally say it, just I am open to healing. You don't have to be doing anything specific. You could be taking a nap, I guess. You know, you could be meditating right now, or you could be going off to the store, which hopefully you're not watching YouTube while you're driving. Be responsible, people. You know, maybe you're doing the dishes, maybe you're vacuuming, maybe you're making lunch, maybe you're dancing like a crazy person, which is awesome. So whatever you're doing, you will be open to it. You will and just know that. So go ahead now. So whoever you wish to receive it besides yourself, just put that in the comment section. And everybody's saying hello to Green Owl. Okay, so yes, just putting it there, and here we go. Drinking hot apple cider and slinging cards. Heck yeah. All right, you guys. So hopefully that felt good. You guys got the tingles and the juju, and to everybody that you were wishing the good juju to be sent to as well. And yeah, I thank you guys for hanging out with me. Hopefully you guys enjoyed our mostly past life involved live chat. You know, so if you came in later, definitely go back, watch the replay. I went over a couple of past life decks. Sherrybug said purple light today. You know what? I see purple now, like wherever I go. Like people are dressed in purple, like purple everything. So that's interesting. I went over like a book for past life, and we did a past life spread. So, and I got to share a couple of stories with you guys. So yeah, thank you so much for, you know, hanging out with me, allowing me to be my quirky weird self that I am, and and yeah, and I always have so much fun, and I have so much gratitude for all of you. And Carmen said, I just got back from work. No problem. You can definitely go back and watch that replay. And I got tons of goodies. I think it was actually pretty structured this time. Green Owl, you are very welcome. And you have a great day as well. She's going to go back to catch this one. Yeah, and you guys enjoy your weekend. Happy Saturday. And yes, to you too, New Age. Thank you. And yeah, I will go make some lunch. I'll be hungry. We hungry. All right. Peace, love, and chicken grease, everyone. Peace out. And who you gonna call? Ghostbusters. Yow. See ya.